Good evening, everyone. I can't believe it's Wednesday already. I'm like, is this Wednesday or is it Tuesday? We just we just started the week. We just we just started this week. Like, where has it gone? Where has it gone? Tomorrow is Thursday, and then it's like the end of the week. So, good evening. How are you doing? I hope you had a successful and productive day. I know that I did. Welcome back. Thank you if you are joining me and you have caught me on the replay. Some persons are busy, and so they catch the replays of these live stream. If you're catching me on the replay or wherever you're watching, thank you for joining me this week. Thank you for being with me for the last 3 weeks, really. Um, just sharing, I've been sharing topics for new managers or really managers in general um, that can benefit. I've had quite a few persons reached out to me, even though they were not managers yet managers, and they're like, this is awesome. I learned a lot, even though I'm not a manager. And you can always find something at the people's brand to better yourself, either professionally or personally. That is the way the business is set up. That is one of the unique ways I have positioned this business. Because when you win, when you develop personally, it spills over in your professional life and vice versa. When you level up professionally, it spills over in your personal life. I could remember taking certain classes. Um, one that jumps to mind when I was working at the Marriott. It's a class it's called Foundations of Leadership, and I don't even know if they do that class anymore. But one of the modules was communication, and I remember there was a technique in that training, and I remember going home and trying that technique. And so that's what happens when you level up professionally, it spills over. And so if you don't know who I am, if you're just stumbling upon this live stream, let me introduce myself. My name is 𝐌𝐨𝐧𝐞𝐻. I am a leadership coach. I help new managers develop leadership influence by mastering their relationships at work and leveraging their communication skills. Communication and relationships are very important. Those are skills that new managers, that anybody who is going into a leadership role, whether you are, in business, or you are a part of a nonprofit or some sort of association, leadership skills can take you very far. Even if you're just like practicing self leadership, it helps you. And so I help new managers do that. And some of you may know me. I have a strong human resource background, and I've been in hospitality for quite some time. So you may know me uh, from that aspect. If you're just joining and if you don't know me at all, that's just something um, cool for you to know about my background. If you want to learn more, just skip back to the like 2 weeks back, and there is a video there. I don't even remember what's the name of it. There's a topic there where I introduce myself and I tell you a little bit about my experience and my expertise. Also, before I get into it, if you recognize that sometimes I'm looking straight ahead or I'm looking over here, I'm connecting with you. I'm connecting with persons on Facebook. I'm connecting with you on Instagram. And so that is what is going on. It's not that I'm not looking at the camera. All right. And so this evening, I want to speak to you about your money mindset and your development. Okay. And this is a topic that people um, skirt around or people just brush over and they don't really think about it. Okay. Your mindset when it comes to your development and learning. And so some persons, let's start with this, some persons have the mindset that, when it comes to their development, they know they need the help. They, they're in a new role. They don't know what to do. They are, they're just there. Um, and they're stalling, they're procrastinating. Last last evening I spoke about that. And so they're thinking, listen, I can't spend this money right now. Off the bat, it's I can't spend this money right now. Okay. Then the second thing they may think is, this is a waste of money. A lot of people think this way. This is a waste of money. And if you think this way, I'm calling you out gently. Yes. I'm calling you out gently. This is a waste of money. I can find this stuff on YouTube or I can find this stuff on um what do you call what's the other platform? Google. I can Google it, right? I can find these things there. This is a waste of money. I don't want to spend this money on my development. And lots of people, they are afraid to invest in, I would say, what they cannot see. It's not tangible right away. They're afraid to take the risk of that, right? But they would rather invest in something like a car, or they would rather invest in something like the nails. And don't get me wrong, all those are great. I like having my nails done, I like having my hair done, I like looking and feeling good. But sometimes we get the wrong concept, right? And one of the first things I want to talk about is this energy that is behind the word spend and invest. When you spend something, it's almost, if you say I'm going to spend this money, it has a almost negative connotation, right? It has a negative. It's almost like I'm exhausting something. I'm gonna spend this. This is a word that we use, and this is a word that we use when it comes to doing things that will build us up, rather than using the word invest, right? You use the word invest. You're investing in you and your development. You see the difference? Spend and invest. Spend and invest. So that's the first thing. When it comes to you, you need to learn to switch up the language, change up the language, and use the word invest because you will see a return. You will see a return on it. Okay. And so, whenever you don't want to invest in yourself, you neglect your development, right? And it's almost as if you're saying, well, I want to learn from the school of hard knocks. And last night, I think it was last night I was talking about, when you delay, when you procrastinate your development, you're really damaging your reputation each day that, hi Erica, each day that goes by, you are interacting with people, you may be doing things, you have goals that you need to achieve, and you are damaging your leadership reputation because you don't want to bet on you. You don't want to bet on you, you don't want to invest in yourself. And sometimes when we have that mindset, we see people so much further ahead and we're wondering, well, you know, how did they get that job? People do this all the time, maybe not you, but people do it all the time. How did she get that job? Well, how did he get that job? Well, they work hard. And in working hard, they also invest in themselves because they see the bigger picture, right? And when you invest in yourself, you get a return. So let me just run through a few things. So when you invest in yourself, your value goes up. Your value goes up when you decide to invest in your learning and development. Your value goes up because you are not at the same level. You're not at the same level. If you were to take a course or get a coach or um, invest in some sort of learning, you won't be the same person going into that, coming out of that course as you were going into that course. So your value goes up. The value of your learning goes up. I shouldn't say your value goes up, but your career value goes up because you are invaluable. Just by being here, just by being a human, just having been created by the Almighty, that's my belief, we are already invaluable. So your career value goes up. These are the types of things that put people then, and this is the second thing that happens, these are the types of things that position people to ask for more because your value goes up, you're learning more, you've invested in yourself. It positions you confidently to ask for more and with receipts and with receipts. Okay. And so we need to really reframe that. So your value goes up, you position yourself to learn, to earn more. So I said it last night, your money is tied up in your learning. It doesn't look like that way, it doesn't seem that way, but your money is tied up in your development. Okay. Your impact, the next thing that happens is your impact is felt because you are now utilizing tools and strategies that you've learned. And so your impact is felt. You're influential. You get stuff done. People can tell that there's a difference. If you, let me use myself as an example, if you were to scroll all the way down on my Instagram feed to even a year ago, or even when I first started the People's Brand on Facebook, on Instagram, wherever on my social media, you can see the progress, you could see the growth. Even, looking at this live stream, sometimes I go back and I'm looking for something, and I was like, oh, I did this. Even looking back at my live streams, you can see the growth. So your impact is felt when you invest in yourself. You're using tools and strategies, and your confidence increases which boosts morale. These are all the byproducts of you investing in yourself. People can't come to you any type of way or offer you any, you have the receipts. You can say confidently, no, let's talk about that figure. For example, maybe you're looking at job, maybe, you know, you've taken on, good night, you've taken on more responsibility. You can show your growth. It's easy because you're now getting the results. And I'm looking at my notes. Like I had a client, let me give you another example. I had a client that she called me one day, right? And she was so upset because she found out by accident that she was being paid less than a male counterpart. And I think she had more responsibilities. I don't know why they do women this, but I guess, it's a thing. And so she learned that, and she was so upset, and she was like, "Wave, this is ridiculous. I'm doing this, I'm doing that," and she was really, really, really upset about it. And I said, "Okay, let's calm down. Let's take it down. Let's devise a plan and a strategy around how we are going to approach this." Now, if she hadn't invested in a coach, if she didn't make the investment, right, she would have gone in and probably stormed into her boss's office and said the wrong thing. She would have communicated it in a wrong way at the wrong time because she was really upset. Can you imagine? I'm sure you guys could put yourself, maybe you're looking at this and it's been done to you, you know, and so she was able to go in and she was able to get more money. And I felt so good for her. But had she not invested, had she not invested in a coach, what would have happened? She would have never gotten that raise. It would have never happened. Right. And this is the power of investing in yourself, not spending, investing. Okay. So you can't lose, you could never lose when you invest in your education and development. Never. And your personal development. So what is the real ROI in with investing? Well, before I jump into the ROI, which is return on investment, I want to talk to you about a little about module number, what is this? Module number 3 in my Communicate to Influence program. Yes, Akila. Akila is saying exactly that could never be taken away. That's right. I'll get back to what I was saying, but think of it this way. Can When you leave a business place, when you leave an organization, can they say on your last day, you know what? You better leave all that managerial experience over there in HR, or you better leave it on that desk there. They cannot say that. Nobody can take away those experiences. Nobody could do, nobody can do that. And so it's worth investing in you. So thank you, Akila, for that brilliant point. So anyway, module 3 of the Communicate to Influence coaching program, which is give me one moment. Oh, sorry. I was getting a notification there on Facebook about open applications. Um, module 3 is all about your unique communication style. And each of us have a unique way that we communicate. And in that module, there's a quiz. Okay, there's a quiz that you take that will give you it, it's about 4 of them, and it'll give you your default way of communicating. When you get into that module, then it breaks down all 4. And it's a great way because you can then not only see the pros and the cons with your unique communication style, but you can see it with the other styles as well, because you will have people on your team, you will have a boss, you will have peers that communicate in a particular way, right? Good night, Shanice. You will have people communicating in that particular way. So I break that down for you. Okay. And then I talk about awareness. The first step to change anything is awareness, which is why you do the quiz. Awareness gives you power because then it highlights, it's like a big flashlight that you can see what is working well for you and what's not working well for you. And you could change that, right? So there's a tool that we use for awareness, and we go through that. And then we end that module, and I'm summarizing with a communication strategy. And these are things that you have to work on. Like communicate. I'm still working on the way I communicate. For me, it would be different at my level, right? And based on my experiences. But I don't think that communication is one of those things that never goes away. The challenge is you might be saying, so if it never goes away, why am I doing this? You're doing this so that you can set the foundation for your leadership. You're doing this so that you don't have to call an Olivia Pope to fix your mess when you communicate incorrectly or step on the wrong toes. When you get into that role as a manager, when you get into that role in a leadership role, people are scared to tell you the truth. I don't know why. They're scared to tell you the truth. They don't want to upset you. They see you, they perceive you as be having this sort of power, right? And people have, you know, been in situations that when they speak up, it works against them. And so people very rarely tell you the truth. You really have to work on that relationship for them to feel open and comfortable to tell you what is going on. And that's what you want. You want to know what's going on in your area, in your department. You want to know so that you can keep a handle. And when I say handle, I don't mean to control, but so that you are aware. Okay. There's nothing worse than, and I've seen it, right, from an HR standpoint, where I know about stuff that is going on in another manager's department, and something may happen, and I'm like, yeah, I'm aware of it. Or someone says to me, Wave, I'm not sure if you know X, Y, and Z is going on. And I'm like, yeah, I already know about it. Okay. And if you don't know, you're wondering, what is she talking about? I am still working my 9 to 5, so I do have a day job, okay, while building the people's brand. But as a leader, you want to know, you want to be aware of what's going on. And so you really have to work on your communication. But it first starts with you. You need to understand how you communicate. You need to understand your hey Reggie, you need to understand how what are your triggers. You need to understand that so that when something pops up, you don't fly off the handle as you usually do. Or if you feel it happening, you find a way to manage around that, because we all have triggers, right? And so it's different for everyone. And you also need to understand and learn how to communicate, because going back to that example that I gave you with the person who found out that she was being, she was not being compensated fairly, is that you may feel like you have the right to just barge in and you say any old thing. I mean, and she could have gone in there and she could have said, well, I'm doing all this work, I'm doing X, Y, and Z. And she could have said it in a tone, in a way, right? But what would that have done? It wouldn't have given her the success that she had. She was, you know, um, aware of her emotions. She was, she tapered them. We came up with a strategy. And that is what a coach does. Someone that is there to guide you and help you along the way. Whereas you would spend days and months putting your head trying to figure it out, this is what coaches does. They are further along, they've had the experience, and they help you to get to that desired outcome in a much faster way than you would if you were on your own. And so Let's talk about the ROI in investing in you. What's the return on investment in when you invest in yourself? So you become marketable. And who doesn't want to be marketable, right? You become marketable. Whether you decide to stay at a particular organization or you just want to do your own thing, you become marketable. People want to work with people, good leaders, sorry. People want to work with good leaders. Nobody wants to work with a bad leader who has a reputation. People want good people on their team. Okay. You become more confident in your role. Then you get the results that you need, right? From your relationships, using, building on your relationships and your communication, you get the results that you need. Relationships, and people underestimate them. Relationships are the currency that will get you into doors that you wouldn't normally be in. Oh, yeah, I know Mary. She was my sister's manager, blah, 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 blah. And the world has gotten so much smaller. Okay. The other thing, too, is compensation. And I spoke about that a little, but some people get bonuses because their bonuses are tied to results. So along with their regular compensation, they have incentives, they have bonuses, and so you don't want to spend as a new manager, a new person in a new industry, a new field. You don't want to be there trying to fumble and bumble your way. You want results. You want to execute. The people who follow the people's brand, the people, my clients, they're ambitious, they're driven, they want to make a change, they want to leave a legacy, and they want to do the right thing within their leadership. The last thing investing in you is that you get resources and there are opportunities that open to you. You get ideas. When you're speaking to an experienced person, you might, to a coach, they give you ideas. They share ideas with you, or they ask you questions that, thought provoking questions that get you to think, well, right? And you get to that conclusion. So there's so many benefits of investing in you, but you will never invest in you if your mindset is one of lack. Can you really afford not to invest in yourself? That's the question that you need to ask yourself. Can you really afford not to? I invest in myself all the time. All the time. I invest in myself because I want to be the best. Excellence is my benchmark. That's me. I want to be great at what I do. That is just me personally. Even before the people's brand, it's worse now with the people's brand. It's about adding value, adding value, adding value to um whatever you do, whatever situation you're in. Like last night I was saying, it's like going to somebody's house. You have to add value, bring value to whatever you do. It's like going to somebody's house, being invited and just showing up empty handed. Although technically there's nothing wrong with it, it's so much nicer if you bring a bottle of wine, if you bring them some chocolates, if you bring them some flowers, if you bring them your a favorite dessert, if you just bring something, right? Maybe it's a compliment, okay? Always add value to the equation. Always add value. And so, can you afford not to invest in you? Can you afford not to fumble and bumble your way through your leadership? Can you really afford that? Right? Getting advice from an expert, from someone who's experienced, right? And the beautiful thing about um, communicate to influence is that we're doing it one on one together. We're not doing it in a group. So it's just me and you. And I love that because each person's situation is different. You can bear your soul, you know, you We work on your unique situation. We follow the format that's in the program, but you may have things coming up, such as my client with this, issue of compensation. You have someone that experience, and the beautiful thing about it is, I've been in HR in a senior leadership role for how long have I been in it? I don't know. It's someone where I might bio, 13, 14 years, somewhere around there, right? Um, and so you have that, that connection. And so ask yourself, how will investing in yourself, this is a question I want to leave you with. How will investing in yourself position you for the future? And write out the answers. If you were to invest in yourself right now through learning, through a coach, joining the program, how will it position you for the future? You have your own unique skills, you have your own unique set of goals, you have your own thing going on, but how much more would it help if you invested? That's the question you need to ask yourself. I'm going to leave you with that right now. Thank you for joining me. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for your comments. And if you are ready to join the Communicate to Influence program, um, there is a link in the bio if you're on Instagram, and there is a in the About section on Facebook. I don't know why they didn't make Facebook similar to Instagram. Instagram is my favorite platform, actually. But anyway, um, there is a link to my website there on um, Instagram. Schedule your consultation call there, and let's get you in the program. Let's discuss. All right. I will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow, please join me. It's the last that of these series that I'm doing. And then I'll be back on a weekly basis bringing you topics. But join me tomorrow, same time at 7, as I wrap up this series. All right. Thank you so much. And I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.